Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. Of course, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. We always love doing this, and we're here for a Movie Monday.
We are. We're here for another Movie Monday, and this time, Brandon, we're going to talk about Christmas with the Kranks. We're going to continue with our holiday movies.
Yes, Mom, I'm always excited to do this, and I'm excited to get into this one.
Yeah, I'm excited too, Brandon. All right, and Brandon, I will give just a very general information about this. The movie stars Nora and Luther and Cranks, and they have one child, and their daughter is going to the Peace Corps for a year. So this will be their first time that these parents will be without a child during the holiday season, and so because of this. Luther decides that he wants to take his wife to kind of distract her a little bit out on a cruise. And so he has decided for their family, and his wife later agreed, that they would basically ignore Christmas or the holiday season for this year. They would enjoy their cruise, and that way they wouldn't have to worry about what they were missing at home. This all of a sudden changes when their daughter, whose name is Blair, calls them and says, "Mom and Dad, I'm coming home and I'm bringing my boyfriend with me." And this actually starts the escapade of the Cranks having to go back and to actually bring Christmas back to their house. And so we've got two dynamics on here, Brandon. First, we have the Cranks who are ignoring Christmas. Then we have the Cranks who are bringing it back. And that is the essence of the movie, Brandon.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for that.
You are welcome, Brandon.
And I will note too that you're actually the one that suggested this movie.
I did, Brandon. I did suggest this movie. I saw this years and years ago, and I actually read the book also. I read the book before the movie. And so I did want to see if I remembered everything the same. And I did. I was very close to remembering the storyline. So, yes, it's a movie that I can happily say did not fall asleep on. I watched in the first sitting. So, yes, so it was a movie that I did enjoy. Brandon, I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh yes, I definitely did enjoy it, and so interesting was that watching this movie, and it's a very different take than for our little connection with Tim Allen. It's a very different take on Christmas.
It is. It's a very different take. Brandon, can you let the audience know what our connection is with Tim Allen in the movies?
Yeah, to speak a little bit about one of our connections. So Tim Allen portrays the protagonist in both this movie, Christmas with the Cranks, and another movie we spoke about, the Santa Claus. And so, whereas on that one, he is literally Santa, one of the embodiments of Christmas. Or here we have him as Mr. Crank, Luther, and he could not care less about Christmas. He wants it done, over with, wants to head on to that cruise.
Yes, and then not to forget that Tim Allen also was in the Disney show, The Santa Clauses, and so in which we talked about that also.
But yeah, it is certainly interesting. I mean, to like I said, see him take on this other characterization of Christmas. But I think it was very effective. That for the most part, that we had a family that their daughter was just leaving them, and it's just like, you know what, we always do Christmas as a family. So this year, let's just not do it. Let's not worry about that. Let's just move on to the next holiday, and we'll do something for ourselves for once.
Yeah, what was interesting is really the neighbors' thoughts about this. I mean, once the neighbors, because they did not make it a secret, and once the neighbors found out, they were kind of upset because they were in a neighborhood that did do a lot of the holiday things, such as lights out and a Santa. So a frosty or snowman or whatever that's on their roof or out in their yard. So they did a lot of things that was holiday related with the parties and everything. And for them to come and say that they weren't going to do this, the neighbors were not happy about this at all.
Yeah, and what's even more interesting is that for the couple, for Luther and Nora, is that I feel, and interpret that they have two very different reasons as to why they're skipping Christmas.
Yes, they did have two very different reasons. I think Luther just wanted to skip just because, and Nora wanted to skip just because she was thinking about her daughter. And so their reasons were very different. However, they both came together once they realized that their daughter was coming back. And so Nora wanted to even go as far as to recreate the meal that she normally does on a regular basis, but it was once more right before the holiday season. So she she did her best, and she was able to pull off a little bit based upon the neighbors and the fact that they have a tight community, and so they kind of came over and helped her. But it was just kind of fun to watch, kind of both extremes go and to see how the reaction was of different people.
But yeah, so definitely I think was just so fascinating. Viewing this, and I thought there were quite a bit of things that came full circle from the beginning of the movie to the end of the film.
Yep, same here, Brandon.
But yeah, and so overall, did you like the movie?
All right. Yes, Brandon, I did like the movie. I really did. Like I said, I thought it was a fast paced. It's roughly about an hour and a half or so. It was a fast paced movie. It killed your interest the whole time period. I really did like the movie.
Yeah, and I thought something that was interesting was that even the humor was a little bit different. So even though we did get a little bit of physical comedy here and there, as per what we've examined within these Christmas ones, especially with Tim Allen, especially in a lot of his work, but I feel like the tone of the first like three quarters of the movie was like almost like not a somber tone, but a like a slower one where it's just like okay, or like Nora, she's depressed that her daughter's gone, and Luther, I need you to do this, to do that, and then I feel like it sort of picks up a little bit in the we're gonna get one over on the neighbors, and then completely changes again when we find out, oh hey, our daughter's coming home.
Yeah, they did. The tone did change several times in the movie. But once more, I still thought it was a quick paced movie. So, you kind of got different tones during the movie. So if you were worried about a tone, it changed very quickly.
Yeah, and I will say, of course, that I did, as I said, really enjoy the movie, and I definitely thought it was just so interesting. And even though I was expecting, of course, the daughter to call home, because of course that happens in these sort of situations.
Yeah, of course, we kind of knew the daughter was going to call home. What I found interesting in the movie is that so anyway, even though the daughter was the main focus of the movie, the person itself was not necessarily the main focus, meaning the actress who played her. I mean, it could have been anyone that popped in there. It was just the thought that the child was not, her child was not there. Because when they showed the daughter later, she had very little, to me, very little dialogue. She just was kind of there because they needed a daughter to come back for movie purposes.
Yeah, and even the daughter's boyfriend Enrique, he, I feel like he even had slightly more of a role in the movie than she did.
Actually, I was getting ready to say that he stood out for in the movie itself, and he was only in there for maybe about 15 minutes or so. So, but yes, yes. But I will let the audience know if you're looking for a movie to watch that is just kind of lighthearted. There was one serious thing that kind of went on in the movie. However, for the most part, it's pretty lighthearted.
But yeah, and so I definitely, like I said, enjoyed it. And I know we spoke about one connection, but I did a little bit of research. We actually have a few more connections than you might remember.
All right, what are the other connections, Brandon?
Okay, so first of all, for the music composer of the movie, John Debney, that he is also the music composer for Spy Kids Armageddon.
Oh, that's great, and I love that movie.
Yes, and the production company Revolution Studios also produced the TV show Are We There Yet?
Oh, great, great.
Yeah, and also here's one that you might remember. So the screenwriter of this film, we have a connection with him, Chris Columbus.
Yeah, Christopher Columbus. I recognize that one, and I think you told me he did Home Alone.
Yes, yes, he did, and he was originally signed on to do National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation before skipping that for Home Alone. So connections a little there too.
Yeah, well, I keep telling the audience, we have a type. So yes, yes.
Oh, but we still have more than that.
Oh, we have more. What else do we have, Brand?
Okay, so these three are with some of the minor actors in it, and so we saw Carolyn Ree.
Oh, yes, we did from Sabrina.
Yeah, we also had a chance to see any guesses as to who the other two are, if you
No,
remember.
no, go ahead, Brandon. Let us know.
Okay, so for this one, let's see if you can figure it out. So this one is a connection with both Fresh Prince of Bel Air and with General Hospital.
Oh, keep going, Brandon.
Okay, and so this one is Vernie Watson Johnson.
Oh, yes. How could I forget about that? Yes, Aunt Stella from General Hospital. Yes, yes. She's played in a lot of things, and she was Will Smith's mom on Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yes, and the final connection, at least the final one that I'm aware of, is David Lander.
Yes, from Laverne and Shirley. Yes, yes. There were quite a bit in here.
Yes, definitely. Probably the most connections that we've had in quite a while.
Yes, yes, it is.
But yeah, and so I'm glad I was did my research into it because I would have missed some of these because I think for this one it's just sort of naturally fit in that all these people can just sort of just show up.
Yeah, it was a very natural movie. Yes.
But yeah, but Mom, what are your thoughts of the fact that we had won all of these connections and overall, like, did you have any final thoughts before closing this out?
No, I didn't have any final thoughts, but it's kind of like I keep saying with our final connections, just because we do have a certain type, I think people have types of movies that they watch, and we have a certain type. You guys have figured it out by now. And so you could probably guess some of the shows that we're going to hit before we even tackle them. And, and so knowing that there's certain producers or writers and just actors that we like.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm excited to see, like I said, future connections as we go into other shows and movies, and whichever other ones that we'll do as we are finishing out our month full of content in December 2024.
Yes, yes, and let us know what's more. If there are any other movies, we're still looking for a couple more spots to fill. If there are any other holiday movies that you want us to look at, let us know.
Yes, please do.
All right. Thank you guys for watching us again today.
And we'll see you next time.
All right, bye everybody.